Yeah, I like that a lot better. That seems a bit sturdier.
Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Think, Learn, Do. For this episode we're going to revisit one of my first videos I did. I was trying to create a light up switch that I could stomp on, and it went pretty horribly. I did manage to make it work, but it definitely wasn't much fun to step on, and I don't think it would have lasted very long. So this time we're going to revisit it, and the idea being that we'll have our switch, and then our diffuser or our plate that's going to protect everything. You can stamp on it and also step in the foam. Hopefully that'll make it a little more fun to step on and protect things a little bit better. So let's get started on it. So this time I'm going to keep things a little simpler and just do the one LED, since I know I can already drive 4 LEDs. Eventually I want to get to the point where I have one in each corner, kind of light up the whole thing. What it's going to look like is, so this is our diffuser. It's also a nice thick piece of plastic, so it gives us a good solid platform to step on. And the idea with the diffuser is by having LEDs under here, it'll actually light up the whole thing instead of just some bright points. That's kind of why I'm using it as a diffuser / stomp plate. And so that's going to be on top, right? And underneath that, we're going to have our switch, this little dinky tiny thing. It's going to be this little tiny thing right here. And then for this, because I want to prototype this, I'm just using some perf board. You can see it has all these holes in it. Put the switch in here, and then wire things up through this perf board just to test it out. So it's going to be right here. And then we'll have like our LEDs off to the side. So the idea being that this switch, when they step on it, since that's the highest thing, that's what they're going to step on. That's going to bear the weight of the stomp. And then hopefully that'll protect my little RGB LED off to the side. And then underneath that, I'm going to probably put some tape under here, or some electrical tape, kind of protect things. Probably isn't really necessary, but oh well. And under that, I'm going to have another piece of a piece of foam here, right here. So it's going to sandwich everything together, and I'm going to probably try and put like a big old plastic bag around it. That doesn't sound exciting, but I think that'll help to hold things together. And as for this bag here, I actually have some larger pieces of this polypropylene. It's just a page protector for some binder, but it is polypropylene, and I've played around with it a little bit, and it's pretty easy to cut using an old soldering iron. So I can just heat it up and then melt along it, and it kind of sticks together, so I can make my own custom sized bag that I can put this in. Hopefully I can get the dimensions right, so it'll kind of squeeze everything together without pushing the switch or compressing my foam too much. Then for the brains of this, for now I'm just going to be using an Arduino. It makes it really easy to use these RGB LEDs, the WS2812B. I've used these a lot. But we have the 3 pins, data, ground, and power. And then there's a library for the Arduino called Fast LED or Fast LED. Makes it really easy to interface with these, so that's what I'm going to be doing for that side. Then it'll also be checking this button. I'll be using an input pull-up again, pretty normal. But what that does is that means this is going to be having a high signal or high voltage on one pin, and the other pin will connect directly to ground. So when it gets pushed, it pulls it to ground. We can pick that up on the Arduino. It makes it really simple. Then for the foam, I've got a foam block here. Supposedly these are easy to cut with a pair of, or with these electric knives that you use for like bread or your Thanksgiving turkey. I haven't tried that before, so hopefully that won't be too bad to cut up. So let's get this built. Alright, so there's my traces off for this switch. I'm not very good at perf board. I always do wires, and then somebody told me you're supposed to like drag the solder to make the bridges you want. That was not easy, but supposedly that's how you do it. Alright, we're going to do a quick sanity check, make sure that I managed to get this set up right. Okay, so it looks like we're showing infinite resistance right now. And 0 resistance. So that looks like that's a good sign. Yeah, it looks like that's working. Feels like I can still hit that switch, so I think, yes, well, you can see that. But it's definitely not going to hit my, I think we're not going to hit my LED, so that's good. So next up is cutting the foam. I think you're going to not see this because I don't want to try and hold it in here and then cut my finger off. Sorry. Well, that wasn't too bad. It didn't turn out as nice as the other guys that I saw him doing that, but it'll work. There's our pad. That doesn't look too terrible. Nice. I can hear that switch hitting. Cool. Alright, let's see if we can fit this in our bag. I may have misjudged my size here. That might be too tight. I can hear it, but it's not resetting. I wonder if my sides are too tight. Okay, yeah, so I think my bag's too small. Oh, that's working. Alright, I guess we can try this out. Apparently got it to a point where it will trigger and reset, so that's good. A little concerning that there was definitely a point there where it wouldn't reset. And I wonder if, there's definitely some ways we can try and counteract that. I wonder if having a stiffer button would help with that. Or if, and I was going to try and cut this out, but I think I'm going to skip that on this video. There's definitely some things I'll have to figure out on my size. But let's hook this up and we can try stomping on it and see what it does. Okay, it's all wired up. It's a pretty simple circuit. It's pretty much exactly the same as some of my other videos, like my like the Nerf target I did a while back. So I'm not going to draw it out, but basically we have power and ground, and then data going to our RGB LED, the WS2812B. I just wired up here, power, ground, and then the data is pin 6. And then pin 7 is going to be our input pull-up pin, and it's wired up through one leg of this switch, and then the other leg is going to ground. And we can do that because we do the input pull-up. Then on our Arduino, it's basically just going to turn on, wait 5 seconds, light up our LED, and then it's just going to check the state of our button until it goes to ground, which means that the switch is closed. And when that happens, it's just going to turn off the LED and then start all over again. Okay, so let's turn it on. So wait a few seconds and it should turn on our LED. There it is. Looks like it detected it, and it should come back on. Nice. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's try stomping on it and see if it's a little nicer to stomp on.
Okay, so it's lit up. Yeah, I like that a lot better. That seems a bit sturdier. Oh, and you can see that it got stuck in that state. And the switch got stuck. So that's definitely something we're going to have to figure out for the next revision. But it's definitely working.
Well, that was a funner project. I'm excited to try that one out again. I really want to set this up so I can make it like a game where I can run around and stomp on these. Let my kids play and try them out. It's not quite there yet. Obviously, a few more bugs to figure out, but I did definitely like having the foam at the bottom. I think that helped a lot for being a lot more funner to step on or to stomp on, and I think it'll last a lot longer. So probably next for this is probably order up some stiffer springed switches. Because these switches they sell them with different kinds of pressure. So probably get one get a range of switches so that I can test out and find out which one I like best for being able to reset and not get into that state where it gets stuck down. And then I need to perfect, well, once I have those different switches, I can perfect how I'm going to make the plastic case around it. And then hopefully at that point I'll have something that I can turn into a bunch of these switches so that I can get to the original game where my kids can run around and stomp on them, or I can run around and stomp on them and have some fun. So anyways, that was fun. Thanks for watching.